following is a production of Watlington Shires and Pierce Productions.
Hey there, Rough Rider fans. Welcome back to the Meeks Show. Normally, we're at the pizzeria. It's a mighty fine place to be, but tonight, pizzeria will supply the pie. But the coach gets on his horse, goes by Sabine State Bank, and takes everyone to the add-on of the house. Step on inside. The coach left the lights on for you. We'll talk about the Brownsboro win, the Center High School band's trip to the state contest. We'll talk to Dr. Morris about building the house and to Hiram Harrison about what we're going to do in it while the coach oversees it all. Sabine State Bank and Pizzeria invites you to another evening with the coach at the new house.
Everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Rick Meeks Show, live from the pizzeria here at 1 p.m., the lunchtime show.
The lunch show.
And we just saw...
it's got a little different effect to it, you know?
It does. It does. It's a whole different vibe to be here during lunchtime. And we just saw an intro for when we were in the Coliseum, so it's still a good intro. So this is, of course, our Gilmer review and a season wrap-up. Before we do that, before we get to Coach, I've got a program note to make here. And I just want to, on behalf of the NetSN, I want to apologize. We did not put our best broadcast out on the Gilmer game. It was primarily the fault of me and the Colonel. We were just upset. And I do not apologize about being upset. I do apologize because we did not give the listeners or the viewers the best possible viewing experience. But it was just difficult for the two of us to sit back and watch what we believe to be in a situation where you had officiating that had an effect on the competitive outcome of the ball game. And I'm not going to – Coach Meeks doesn't know I'm doing this. We didn't talk about it. This is not sanctioned by CISD. It's not sanctioned by NetSN. It's sanctioned by me and Colonel Gregory and us two alone. And I'm not going to go in. I could sit here and take 20 minutes and go through line by line, play by play, quarter by quarter of the things that I thought were inappropriate. But we're not going to do that. I just want to apologize to our folks, apologize to the people in Gilmer that watched that we annoyed with our commentary, because we have the utmost respect for Gilmer. Gilmer did well. We hope y'all do go forward. Like we said in the pregame, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Gilmer is still the man. Y'all are the defending champs. And I'm not saying that Gilmer would have not won the football game, but in a game that was so close, it was just very difficult for us because we felt that the officials had their thumbs on the scale, two or three of them especially. That's our opinion. It may not be fact, but that was the observation that we made during the game. That's the observation that I continue to make upon review of the game. And it's just unfortunate. But I do, again, congratulations to Gilmer. Won the football game. Again, you guys are you're the champs. But I want to take a minute and say to all of our young men that have worked so hard to not give in and not give up and to go out and continue to fight and continue to lay it on the line. And we still, almost, despite all of that, still almost came out on top. It's just a credit to those young men. That's it, and the defense rests. We'll go to break, and we'll be right back.
You know that Ace Hardware of East Texas is all the hardware you need, but there's a lot of other things they have too. Fun things for your camping trips. Fun things to wear when you go outside. For the 4th of July barbecue, to the housewarming in the fall, to your Christmas shopping and clothes for all year long, it's Ace Hardware, the helpful place of East Texas.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Sandy Cox is a good State Farm agent. Just ask Drake. He knows. State Farm agents in general are pretty cool, but Sandy Cox has the answers to your questions. Like, what's best for me, for my kids, for my business, for my farm? For all of us in Shelby County, those questions can be answered at Sandy Cox State Farm.
All right, now it's time to get going for good. Now that I've got that off my chest. Well, Coach, let's go ahead and get right into it. And let's talk about the Gilmer game. Lots of good stuff happened in the game. But let's begin with, I guess, what everybody kind of wanted to know, and that was the end. I always generally start with the positive stuff, but let's talk about what happened on the quote fumble situation.
So, basically, the gist of it is our center snapped the ball, and we weren't ready for play from a quarterback standpoint.
Did the officials actually blow the play to ready to go? Because
yeah, they did. On paper we snapped it. We weren't ready. It's a fumble. They recovered it. So a lot of things to me with it. There's about 4 scenarios that could have happened there, and 3 of them I'd have been okay with.
Right.
Obviously, the 4th one is what happened, and I really don't think that was the right thing. But the play before we ran, ended up being an incomplete pass. The clock kept running, so the official stops the game for us to put time back on the clock. All right, and
they took forever to do it.
They're trying to radio that up. Of course, they do not get it. So then he asked me to say something to Coach Horton up in the box. And I'm like, well, they're on a whole nother level, but I will tell him. So anyway, we finally get the clock right. And as soon as the clock was right, he whistled the ball ready for play. Well, we were, Coach Munoz and Coach Atherton were out on the numbers talking to our guys because there was a delay in the play. They had coaches out talking to their guys.
Well, I don't think the officials were in place. I think they were all just kind of roaming around.
The officials weren't in place because we're trying to get the clock right. So White Hat put the ball in play. People still on the field. His crew's not even ready. So we could have stopped it right there, killed it. Let's make sure everybody's set. Let's put it back in play. Okay, so that's situation number 1 that could have happened. Situation number 2 is when the ball was snapped, our skill players were moving around. So we were not even set.
Right, should have been a penalty.
So we should have had a false start penalty, motion penalty. So that's situation number 2 that I would have been okay with. Situation number 3, their defensive end claps, which is our cadence. That is something I cover every Friday night in the pregame meeting with the officials. I cover it every single Friday.
Right.
And let them know that is our cadence, and that's got to be watched. And you got to watch it in crucial situations, not the first possession of the game. Nobody's going to do it the first possession of the game. They're going to do it when it matters. All right, so 42 claps. And, and I've said this to other people too, and they're like, well, there's a delay. Well, if you watch our game any week, there's a delay every time TJ claps, because if he claps and the ball's snapped, defense can key any type of pressure off of that timing.
Right.
So we have got to have a non-rhythmic snap count. Well, that's it. TJ claps, and then the center can either snap right away, or he can sit in there and hold it 2 to 3 seconds and then snap it and then give the catch. So that's pointless that he didn't snap it right away. That's not how any one of our snaps have went through 11 games.
And you can't simulate.
So that's situation number 3 that the umpire should have seen. It's something we cover. That is part of their job. They're supposed to pay attention to that.
When I was in school,
so I'd have been okay with the delay game call there.
Yeah. When we played, we had a thing. We called hut defense. and the officials told us we couldn't have hut defense because we would get up there and go hut. To set up the hut defense, and that is disrupting the.
Correct. It's not something that's new. I mean, that has been
the rules forever.
The first time football was ever played as a game, defense is going to try to do something to create an advantage.
Yep.
Completely understand. Like, no issues with that, but you've got to pay attention to it as an umpire to regulate it. And so that would have been okay. So I'd have been fine with it being blown dead, reset, get everybody in play, false start on us, delay a game on them. But instead, we let the play stand, and the guy that clapped is the same one that went and recovered it. And that's it. And the official could not give me an explanation for any of it. Didn't really want to talk about it. Told me it was a turnover, and they were moving on. So, it's tough for our kids because I thought they played an extremely competitive game. They played very well. They prepared in the right mindset all week. We had one of our best week of practices, and it showed on Friday night. And so, you hate that it ended that way. That's just one of many at the end that we could talk about, which I know we don't want to sit here and do that. But for a game of that magnitude, it's kind of disappointing that that's the way it ended.
Yep, absolutely. But let's talk about the good stuff. And we had several really great drives, moved the ball down the field. Of course, the big bomb to Tim.
Yep.
I mean, what were your thoughts? Just let's start offensively. Just your thoughts in general about our performance.
I thought it kind of went in and out. Really, I mean, we started strong, did a really good job of starting the game, ran the ball well, timing the ball down the field was really good, and then we kind of hit a lull through the last half of the second quarter and the first half of the third quarter, and then the end of the third quarter and fourth quarter we kind of got back in it and we're back moving the ball. So,
Coach, was that a lull on your part, or was that something that they were doing?
Well, I think it's a little of both. They're obviously very good defensively, and they made some adjustments after the first couple possessions, as anybody would, because we came out and we moved the ball. And Coach Edwards, who's their defensive coordinator, changed up a few things, started switching up kind of how he pressured us a little bit, and it confused our guys, and we were able to get some of it corrected at halftime, and that allowed us to get back going. So, it was a combination of both. They did some things that confused us, and so we missed some things inside in terms of run blocking and staying on double teams and getting up to linebackers, and it just kind of affected those, our line of scrimmage play. So that's still part of that learning curve for our guys up front.
Right.
But the fact that they hung in there and we were able to get things corrected, and they communicated like they needed to at the line of scrimmage on the back end of the game to allow us to get back in the game and get it back to one possession. They continued to grow up throughout the night.
Defensively, I think we played lights out all night.
Absolutely.
In my humble opinion, the best defensive performance that I can remember. Now, I know there probably have been some 5, 6, 7 years back that could rival it, but I can't dial it up right quick. That's just
and I'm sure there are, but it's definitely been our best one since I've been back over the last 4 seasons. Our kids were locked in. They played hard. We told them all week if we would just go be the hammer. Their MO is they bank on teams not being able to play 4 quarters with them. And a lot of times that's what happens. People will start the game strong. People will play well early, but they struggle playing 4 full quarters. And so a lot of times they win just off of that mentality, along with executing like they do. But we told our guys, if we will be the hammer all night and we will match their physicality and we will go 4 quarters with them, we'll beat them.
Right.
And I really think that, we played great. And that's where some of the things that happened throughout the night is just very disheartening for me, for them, because they did everything they were supposed to, the way they were presented during the week and the way they were coached. They turned around and did it. And, you look back at some of their scoring drives, it's like the first one, I mean, in my mind, should have never happened. Like the 4th and 15 pass interference call still blows my mind. For one, the quarterback still had the ball, so it can't be pass interference. Now, it could be holding.
Yeah.
But that's not what's called. You can't have pass interference till the ball leaves the quarterback's hands because there's no contact rule in high school like in the NFL.
And there
So the
wasn't
ball's
holding.
got to be in the air.
That call was thrown not at the receiver that it was intended for. Right?
Correct.
Right.
So our outside linebacker, their running back was in protection. He sees the quarterback get out of the pocket, so he starts going to the flat, as he should, scramble drill, I'm going to get out. And our outside backer comes up and hits him. Well, he's still behind the line of scrimmage. You can hit a receiver behind the line of scrimmage. That's just like a screen pass. There's zero pass interference for that. So he hits him behind the line of scrimmage. Quarterback still has the ball, and he was not even the intended receiver once the quarterback threw the ball.
Correct.
The contact happened at the 32-yard line, and the official 2 yards deep in the end zone throws the
threw
flag.
it about 20 yards.
He had a good arm on him.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to him. I'm sure he was a discus thrower in high school or something. And so I just, it is. That should have been turnover on downs. They still completed the pass. We tackled the guy short of the chains. We should be coming out, taking over on downs, up 7-0. So, anyway, that completely changed that drive. They score a couple plays later. So that one's disheartening as well. But I just thought defensively we played phenomenal. They had some tendencies that we felt great about, like some very, very strong tendencies, and our kids really studied those up during the week and executed the way they needed to.
Early in the game, Grant Gregory, the sergeant, he read it so perfectly. Early tackle for a loss of about 4.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
His dad, the colonel, said, we've been watching this tape. And he said, help me with this, Shires. When they go in motion, then that means 90% of the time it's going to be whatever it was they ran.
Yep.
And Grant had just made a tackle on the other side.
Right.
And now he was in the backfield.
Right.
Obviously, he had studied up.
Correct.
I mean, he just knew that in his gut and was in the backfield. But he wasn't the only one. They were really well prepared.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, they one of them. I mean, just kind of off of that, if a receiver came in motion and the running back and the Y or the fullback were stacked, so they're on the same side, they had a 100% tendency. If they were separate, if the fullback was one side, the back was the other, it was like a 92% tendency off of this play or this play, and I mean, once again, our kids did a phenomenal job of learning that throughout the week, in our meeting time, in our prep time with the coaches and them, and just through practice regurgitating all of it. Like, so much of our practice, especially defensively, you can be beat just by alignment alone. And so, in our align and assign periods, there's not much physicality happening there. We put guys in a formation, and defensively we need to be saying what's about to come. And, like, this week we were locked in, did a phenomenal job remembering all that. And it showed Friday night. We played really well defensively.
You did. Shires, do you have more that you want to ask?
I'm just going to say my friend Spruill, who watches religiously.
Watches religiously and comments
Comments
irreligiously.
Right. But he asked me, he said, where's 14 playing on Saturdays? Because he just said that kid is
Right.
It was just all year, but especially in that game. So
Yes, sir.
Ja was just a beast out there.
He's really coming along, isn't he?
He is, and he's going to have that opportunity. He's got a couple right now. I think there'll be some more before signing day, but he's going to have that opportunity, as he should.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really grown up, literally and figuratively, into a really good player.
But he's like lots of percentage points better now than he was in September.
Oh, absolutely. He just continues to get better, continues to trust everything,
and he just looks
plays.
Looks like a defensive end.
And he's so long.
He got the look.
Yeah.
And that was one thing we knew. So he kind of played a little different side the other night. We had him on 71. 71 was a little shorter than 70. So we knew his length would give 71 problems, and then 70 was a little slower footed. So we put Quincy on that side.
Yeah.
As Quincy's speed. So
Yeah.
both of those philosophies really paid off for us. And
everybody had a good game.
Right.
Everybody. Quincy had a great game.
right.
Wolf had a great game. Obviously, we talked about the sergeant. We talked about Ja.
And of course, Atkinson.
Yeah.
He's always right
That's right.
there.
He had 19 tackles, and
19
Right.
tackles.
Mosley. Everybody showed up.
They did.
Every single
did.
guy showed up.
right.
How many of those coming back?
Defensively, you're 7 of the 11.
That's pretty good.
I guess 6 of the 11.
If it was 7-11, that'd be a big gulp. 6-11, it's still good.
Right.
Right. So I very very proud of the kids, and it's a tough one to swallow because we played so well. Sometimes, not really. But sometimes it's easier to move on from one when you get beat by 40 than it is by 6.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's tough. It's tough, and just proud of the way they played the other night, and just kind of proud of the trajectory of the program. I've had multiple people say, well, they just didn't play well. Well, maybe they didn't play well because we played so good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and,
that's
but that's still just and we've already talked about it the last 2 days. Unfortunately, we started off season today. But don't think those comments aren't talked about, because that should continue to light a fire within our kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of people outside of maybe our community and our locker room just don't want to give credit to maybe something is brewing down here that's pretty good and sustainable. That will continue to be in the conversation moving forward.
Maybe that's how we want it. We don't want them to see us coming.
That's right.
That's a good shirt, though. Maybe something's brewing. May work on that.
That especially Diamond Bees.
There you go.
I still have a couple of things, and then we want to talk about the season in general. But it's about time for a break. We're at the pizzeria. This is the Coach Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. We'll be right back.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name, and they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Batters Law Firm is your first choice in personal injury law. Jeff Batters and his staff lead the way in the area with Best of Nacogdoches and Best of Lufkin votes over the last several years. If your case matters, it's got to be Batters.
Father, for lunch today, I would like a salad.
Father, for lunch, I'd like one of those American
no, I couldn't possibly.
cheeseburgers.
I'm
Ice
a
cream is the
vegetarian.
cheeseburger. That's
How
what
come,
I
Father?
need. Ice cream.
Oh, when everyone in your family thinks they're royalty, take them someplace where they could all get something good. Dairy Queen. Welcome back. We're at the pizzeria. This is the Rick Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. I want to thank Steve Waters all season for sponsoring the show, and he'll continue to do it long after football seas's over. Pepperoni
There we
pizza.
go. Yeah.
That's Coach Meeks' favorite. We accidentally ordered two, so you're going to get to take one home.
Perfect.
And mine's over there under a napkin, but we probably owe them a little money. The I ordered my first cauliflower crust.
Oh, it's good. We've had it
good.
before.
It's crunchy. Yeah, I've had it, but I never ordered one. I mean, I never took ownership. It's pretty good. I like that stuff. I'm going to continue it. We also thank, as we always do, Shell Mooney's Emporium. Christmas shopping is here. I mean, it's Black Friday season. Black Friday is a season now. Did you know that? It used to be a day after Thanksgiving. Now it's the day after Thanksgiving and the 3 months before it. So get on over to Mooney's Emporium and get in shape before the holidays at the Forge. Thank you, Danbert Collum, for supporting Rough Rider Athletics. And, of course, JBI Insurance. Joe Bill Matire has been a part of every broadcast we've done for 2 or 3 years now. Thank you very much, Joe Bill, at JBI. And lastly, Rough Rider Oil and Lube. The score is on the board, and I appreciate that. That's an old school throwback to the good old days with Vance Payne, but there's nothing throwback about their service at Rough Rider Oil and Lube. Thank you very much, Nathan Phelps. Okay, still some things about the game. Not complaining, but asking for clarification. Early in there were 2 drives in the fourth quarter that we needed it. We were down by 6. The last one is the most notorious one because of the clap. My son showed me a TikTok video of it.
Good old TikTok.
It's kind of making the rounds.
Right.
Check this out. It's kind of become famous. But to me, the one that was maybe even more disastrous, a questionable call, was a spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4th down. You're on the 32 or 3.
31.
They're at 30. Okay. And
on 31.
You need to get just shy of the 29. So it's
29.
4th and 2. You pass it to number 12.
J.K. Barnes.
Barnes crosses the line. He's tackled and he falls forward. And he's, however long he is where he lands. It's the 28-ish, first down. They mark it in a different spot. Back
Yes,
behind.
sir, they do.
Not sure how that's possible. I watched it several times. Was the spot wrong?
I mean, I think it is. And I think anybody that doesn't have anything to do with center would think it is.
Well,
I mean, they come in and they make contact on J.K. He turns up and they make contact on J.K. about the 30. Well, the way they hit him, he gets spun up. So, like, his face, like he's facing the sky, and he's still working forward. Just the momentum turns him, and he's still going forward. Well, I mean, the last time I checked, your knee, it wasn't going to touch because he's facing up. And when the first thing that hits is his bottom on the 28, which means the ball is going to be about the 27 and a half.
Yes.
And they marked it all the way back at the 29. That's what I was asking.
Is there any possible mistaken but logical possibility? And I just don't see it.
I don't either. And I think that the frustrating thing for me was, I say something to the guy on our sideline, and by then Coach Horton is already telling me where the ball should have been. He's up in the box. He's already watched it on our replay system up top before they even have the chains across, because they took a while to talk about it and then bring them over. So, I mean, he's already watched the play. He's telling me where it should have been.
Yeah.
I'm telling the guy on our sideline, and he said, "No, Coach, y'all got a great spot." I said, "No, we just watched it up top." And then he went silent.
Yep.
Like, never said another word.
Yeah.
So that just tells me that you really weren't sure.
Yeah.
Like, at least continue to defend your spot. No, he had a knee hit. Or no, his elbow, this is where he was. Okay, I could live with that until I would go back and watch it and then realize that no. But, I mean, he went silent.
Yeah.
And that's the issue I have with it.
Look, here's the thing, and we appreciate officials because, again, we
can't have the game without it.
We always do that, and we have a fun thing that we come on rep, but it's all in fun.
It's all in fun.
Right.
And look, officials are human beings,
And they make mistakes.
They make mistakes. Look,
Absolutely.
for instance, would be in the Russ game, okay, where they clearly made an error, but you understand why. It was
Right.
one. It was single. The problem with last Friday
and they
night.
apologized.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, the problem.
Yeah, he came and said something to me.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Like, I by no means want to take anything away from Gilmer. Just there's a few things that leave a bad taste in your mouth when the game's over with. once again, it's a one-possession game.
Yep.
Our kids played so well.
And on that one, we're talking the 27.
Yeah,
You're
correct.
almost to the red zone.
Correct.
You're
And at that
almost
point in
field goal
time,
position.
we have all the momentum.
Yes.
They have
Yep.
not scored at all in the second half. As a matter of fact,
Right.
they've probably only gotten about one first down, maybe two. They're not moving the ball. We're dialed in. We've got some things corrected up front. We're moving the ball. We score. We stop them. We're back driving. We're fixing to be 1st and 10 from the 27. The other thing that's even more disheartening than the spot is the play before.
Okay.
When the play's over and they have a guy come up and push Snooty. Snooty just stands there, and I think he says something, but he does not do anything physical. And then that kid throws a punch, and then they just send him off the field. Well, that right there should have been 15, dead ball,
Absolutely.
personal foul. We should already
Absolutely.
had the first down the play before. So anyway, I know we're harping on
And
those type of things
I
at the
don't
end of
want
the game.
to harp, but then
And
once
I don't
they,
want to take anything away from the team that
That's
won,
right.
but
That's right.
it makes it tough for sure.
it looked to me like even with the bad spot, it was in the 30, the 3.
Yes,
it
yes,
was,
sir.
It was on the curve of the 3.
Correct.
Which still should have been enough.
Absolutely.
But on the other side where the marker was sat, it was between the 0 and the 30.
Yes, sir.
Which looked like, we got it.
Yes.
And then they move across, and it's short.
Right.
Even with the bad spot, I thought we had it.
Right.
It just compounded
It did.
compounded. And then they get the ball, and wasn't that a 3 and out?
We 3 and out.
So,
and
it
we got
just-
the ball back. So once again, our kids took the field, right mindset, play the next play, even though we don't feel great about what just happened. 3 and out, they punt, shank it. We're getting the ball back
Right.
on the 50.
First bad punt of the night.
So we're fixing to get the ball on the 50. At that point, I think we still maybe had 2 timeouts left. About 4 minutes to go in the game.
Plenty of time.
And we can go put another drive together. And
Absolutely.
then second play, then that's back to the snap infraction. So
Disheartening.
it is.
And, center fans are an unusual breed.
Yes, they are.
we are long suffering, and we've had enough success to keep people interested.
Right.
Since the early 90s.
Yes.
And just there always seems to be some sad sack difficulty.
Yep.
Right.
But that's going to come to an end.
Looking forward to it coming to an end. It's going to be so sweet when it does.
It is, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Because we got the guy.
we do.
I've been saying it. We've got the guy.
We got a guy. All right, enough about that. We'll take a quick break, hear from a couple of sponsors, and then we'll talk about a very successful 8-2 season here at the Pizzeria. We'll be right back.
Covington Lumber and Building Supplies is in the capable hand of a third generation of Covingtons. For shingles for your roof, to carpet for your floors, to Farrell Calhoun paint for the walls, bathroom fixtures, and everything in between, Covington's has it, as well as all the lumber you can shake a stick at. Lumber for your home or for other fun projects. You find it all at Covington's.
Imagine what it would be like to be your tire.
That's not good, man. Watch where you're going.
It ain't easy work, so you don't want to trust it to just any old tire. No, you take your car and truck to Center Tire. It's an old tradition with a new chapter under Trey Burns, because being a tire is hard work.
Are we there yet?
All right, everybody, welcome back. We appreciate you being here today. Now in this segment, we're going to look at the season in general. And you said 8-2 last time we did that, 2015?
Back to back.
Yes, sir. 2015 was the last time we were 8-2 in the regular season.
Okay.
That year ended up 10-3.
And we went to round 3, and we lost in the playoffs too.
Gilmer Buckeyes.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes, sir. But yeah, 8-2 this year, finishing up 8-3. But it's three there you go. You get it?
God, missed him.
3 consecutive years of 7+ win seasons.
That's it.
Yeah.
First time that's happened since 94, 95, 96. So still a lot of really good things to continue to build on. A lot of really good things that our kids achieved this year. You're talking about a senior class that did not win a game in junior high, 7th and 8th graders. And talking about a senior class that went 1-8 as freshmen my first year here. They had one game that they were not able to play due to rain. So they were 1-8 as freshmen. And, you know, now leaving here 8-2 regular season, 8-3 overall, and just a lot of really good things because of their buy-in to the overall process and what it takes to be successful.
Yes, and that's it. Buy into the process.
Right.
Assuming your process is a good one, and this one is, get them to buy in.
That's it. Yep. You just got to put yourself into something that's bigger than you, and they've done that. I mean, that's the team, and success will happen. You know, can't make yourself an individual in a team sport, and they haven't done that. They've bought into exactly what it takes. They've put in the work. We ask a lot of them. Don't compromise off of that very much. I mean, it takes what it takes, and they've bought in and committed to it, and the results show.
Two very conspicuous seniors. Your quarterback, T.J. Bellin, comes in for Cash Cross, who was a phenomenon. And, I mean, T.J. isn't Cash, but he was very capable.
Very.
From the get-go.
And I'm gonna tell you, there's some things that TJ does that Cash couldn't. You know, Cash isn't TJ.
Give me an example.
Well,
that TJ's particularly him.
TJ was more vocal than Cash.
Really?
Cash, Cash was more of a quiet leader. He was still a great leader, but his was more. It was not very vocal.
Okay.
TJ did a good job of being vocal with things. And and their skill sets were different, but the beauty of it is both of them played within the offensive system in a way that they needed to for everybody around them to be successful.
And they both threw record-setting receptions to their own sets of receivers.
That's correct.
Tim Johnson, I don't know, there was more made of the records last year, I guess because multiple people did them.
Right.
When I realized Timothy was on a tear, it was like week 10. Man, what a season.
Great season. And I'd actually have to go back and look. I don't know. You know how many receptions he had the other night?
No.
If he had more than 3, then he broke the single season reception record, which I know for a fact I can count 3. So hopefully there's one more in there
that's not already printed.
That's not coming to my head from Friday night. So if he got to 4 receptions Friday night, then he broke Tay's record for single season receptions of 76 because he was at 74. No, he was at 73. So he needed 4 to get to 77.
He got 2 touchdowns. So I know there was another.
So he's got single season.
I'm gonna get him.
Yardage.
Missed again. I'm losing my touch.
We need Mr. Miyagi in here.
Single season yardage, single season reception, single season touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, dang.
Right.
And so that's and he was not. He was a contributor in past seasons, but boy, both of them went from contributor to star.
Correct.
With blazing speed.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Of course, there are others. Is there someone else that you are particularly proud of that surprised you in their senior year, or are they all just, a big team of thumbs up?
Well, I think they're all kind of a big team, but I mean, TJ still comes to mind. I mean, I knew what we had in him, but I mean, he was played receiver last year. Hadn't played quarterback really in a couple years. Because honestly, his sophomore year, Tim was actually playing quarterback until we moved Tim up to varsity, and then TJ finished the year. And then last year, TJ played receiver, so it had been a while since TJ was a freshman. He even had done a lot at quarterback, and even that freshman year, TJ and Tim split time quarterback at freshman football. So I knew what he was capable of doing, but he still had to go do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was as accurate as he was, he took care of the ball.
Yes.
We didn't turn it over. We didn't throw a ton of interceptions. Like he took care of it down the field. Like those things are big, and we always tell our guys we want our possession to end in a kick. Now, obviously, sometimes that's a punt, but we don't want it to turn. We don't want it to end in a fumble or an interception. I mean, punt, field goal, touchdown, extra point. Like we want it to end in a kick. That way, we can kind of control the momentum of the game, and he did a good job of controlling the ball. So those guys, played extremely well.
And not a lot of sacks. Not a whole lot of sacks either.
Correct. Correct. Did a good job of awareness.
Not the open field runner.
Right.
That's not his thing, but he didn't get
Correct.
caught much.
Correct. Defensively, I think Caleb really stands out. Mosley.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that.
Mosley did a phenomenal job at outside backer. Really grew up from a physicality standpoint. We've talked about Jamarian many times this year at the defensive end. He did a great job. And then I think J.K. Rogers and Brandon Barnes, the time they gave us at corner this year. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. Brandon Barnes, like the amount of work that young man has put in over the last 4 years has been unbelievable. He works so hard. And he was a junior on JV. And he did not take that as an insult. He took it as a way for me to continue to get better. I'm going to take advantage of my reps on Thursday night because I know it's the only way I have a chance of playing next year. And that's, there's not many kids that take that approach because they take offense to being a junior on JV, and that's not it at all. It's about how can I continue to develop. And Brandon did that. He knew that because I give our juniors the option. This is where we think you need to be. But if you want to be on varsity, you can be on varsity, but you're going to stand on the sideline. And your reps and your time is going to be very little. It's just what it is. But you can go play on Thursday nights and probably play both sides of the ball, never come off the field, and continue to get better. And Brandon did that. And he played every special teams, had a few offensive snaps, played every defensive snap. And in return this year, he started all 11 games for us, was on 4 of our 6 special teams, and was a big-time contributor. So, I mean, kudos to him to trusting the whole process of what the bigger picture looks like so I can develop within it.
And kudos to you and your staff for the consistency of enforcing that and making kids believe it.
Yes, sir.
If you made exceptions for so-and-so's kid or whatever, that guy, then that wouldn't work. So there's consistency in the program.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's great. To close up the season review, Charles, you got something?
No, I think you've hit it all. I think, I'm excited about. This comes to a surprise to everybody. I'm excited about the offensive line for next year.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we're bringing back 3 or 4.
We're going to bring about 4 of the 5, and then Peyton Fountain played 2 games when Keaton wasn't able to be here.
Right.
So he's got 2 games where he played every snap, but 4 of the 5 are back. And
like Coach Ballinger and I talked about it, we're going to have about 30 or so pounds can migrate from right guard to right tackle. We're going to be in business.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that weight was migratory.
We're going to try to figure out how.
What I wanted to ask you to close this up, if you look back at the 10 games, well, all 11 games, all of them have pros and cons, but what's the one that you would point to and went, I went to bed that Friday night really excited?
North Dakota.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a breakthrough.
It was. I mean, they're such a respected program in the state of Louisiana, and you look at it now, they're still playing in the playoffs. Since our game, they lost the next week to West Monroe, which West Monroe is a powerhouse and a full class. They're a 5A. North Dakota's 4A.
Was it close?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But they haven't lost since then. So I mean, Coach Dunn. That was kind of the game there, and and I still think we need another couple of those, but that you start winning those games, that's when the tide starts turning for a lot of things.
Yes.
Back to the other night, there were times in the game where people had to make plays. Gilmer's kids made the plays, we didn't. It's like the jump ball in the end zone. How many times this year has Tim misjudged a ball? Not many, but he misjudged that one, and that guy timed it correctly and made the play. And that only happens through experience and being put in those situations. Well, the only way you're in those situations is continuing to play those type of games. So, we know we got North Dakota on the schedule next year. We know Madisonville's still going to be good. Athens has got a lot of kids back. Carthage is going to be what they are. So we're going to have those games.
Carthage, Texas?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
University of. We're going to go into the playoffs. Chances are we play Gilmer again.
But you might.
We're going to continue to.
If we work hard, maybe we can play Van.
Right. We're going to continue to be in those situations.
Yeah.
And so over time, our kids are in situations to make plays, and they're going to feel more comfortable about making those plays. So the fact that we did that against North DeSoto, we did it late against Madisonville. We were making them the other night. We just didn't make as many as them. And so, that'll kind of start turning the tide a little bit, and we'll be where we want to be.
We've got two things left to do with this program. We want to look ahead to next year, which we've kind of started doing in this segment. And then we want to look ahead to more immediately the season, the basketball season, and other things coming. So don't go away. We still have business to do here at the Pizzeria. Rick Meeks Show brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. Wallington Shire's Pierce Productions says thank you to the folks who sponsor these fine area teams. They include Blake Furniture, what you want, when you want it. Sandy Cox State Farm, she's your good neighbor. Watson & Sons, their family serving your family. Porticool, home of the new Apex Series fans. Joe's, don't take your car to a car wash, take it to a car spa. And Batters Law Firm, if your case matters, it's got to be Batters. Thank you for helping us celebrate Shelby County's athletes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Rick Meeks Show, again brought to you by Sabine State Bank as we get ready to wrap this thing up. Time to kind of look forward to this year, and then kind of do that, and then we'll talk about next football season. But we've got basketball that is firing up left and right. Coach, I'm excited about the basketball season because I think we're gonna continue right where we left off, and
Right.
And anything short. I mean, I fully expect that we'll get to the regional tournament and maybe beyond with the basketball team. And I'm curious to see how Jamarian plays basketball because I think his success and the aggression that he might have gained in football season is going to pay huge dividends in basketball.
I agree. I think he has built a lot of confidence within himself, and I think that is just going to transfer over to the court. As far as how far the season goes, I'll let you take that up with Coach Harrison. I'm not going to do any predicting for him.
I know.
I'll let you do that for him.
I just got I got a great feeling about this year.
But I am very intrigued at how the big school, small school plays out in the other team sports. I think that'll benefit us if you look back over the past few years. If we play the way that we feel like we're going to play. And you look back over the last few years, our exits have been bigger teams, minus I have no idea Houston, Washington's enrollment. I have no idea about that inner city Houston school or inner city Houston district. And so I don't know where those teams are going to play out. But, you look south of us. I mean, Silsbee, they're going to be really good, but they're going to end up big school in that district that they're in. The last few years, Bridge City has been playing well. Bridge City is a bigger enrollment. Hampshire Fournette. I'm not really sure where theirs falls, but I think they're going to be big school out of the district that they're in. They're going to be right there borderline. So I mean, that's the thing. You look through there, and then of course there are going to be some other teams that step up because of it. So it's not a cakewalk by any means, but it's very intriguing to me on how the brackets end up playing out. So. But a lot that we have to do between here and there, but a lot of guys back. Cash is the only one that graduates off our team from last year. So very excited to see how those guys play this year.
But I mean, obviously we're going to have Tim with his skill.
Yeah.
We're going to have TJ, the quarterback of the basketball team. He'll be the point guard.
You got Jamarian and Tiki down low that's going to play well.
And Snooty.
And then
Snooty's going to play, the freshman?
Oh yeah.
Snooty has a couple of other siblings that have did okay in basketball.
Right.
They did okay.
Yeah, they did okay. Well, I'm learning because I know Snooty. He's the freshman offensive lineman.
Yeah,
I know of, and he's a great kid.
Yeah,
and,
you have no idea how athletic that young man is.
Yeah, okay.
He's very gifted.
So he's going to be on the ball court. I can't wait to see him then.
Yeah.
He's very gifted.
I mean, I'm telling you, we're going to be able to match up with people with size.
Right.
If we need to go small, we're going to be able to do that.
Because then you can throw Caleb and J.K. out there.
Uh-huh.
Grant, I mean, believe it or not, Grant will be a good player for us.
Yep.
He plays well in basketball.
And we got some height jumped up there. I mean, it's up at 6'7" now.
Jamarian
is so that's
Jamarian's good size, and then J.K. Barnes, the receiver we were talking about earlier, he'll play down low. So I mean, you got J.K. and Tiki and Snooty all about the same height.
Right.
So we can go a few different routes with those guys.
Well, maybe I should just go with you guys for basketball.
Right. I'm just telling you, it feels like Tiki's been. This is his like 6th year. I mean, Tiki's been on varsity since he was a freshman.
Right.
He and the player formerly known as T-Baby.
Right.
Well, I mean, those guys have tremendous amount of experience.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think this. I mean, this is a good window for us. We have size, we have speed, we have experience, we have confidence, we have shooting capability. I mean, we are loaded.
And a great program and a great coach.
Yeah.
So it's all good, and I know I'm feeling it too, and I know you got talking about. I'm feeling it for the girls too. 'Cause like I said, I knew they were going to make the playoffs last year. I had that feeling after their first season of me around here, and then they just ran into a very good team last year, and I think they kind of got them off there a little bit in that first round
We just
playoff.
got hot.
Yeah.
They played a team that was
Yeah,
kind of
getting
mediocre
hot,
in
right.
district, but got hot.
Yeah, right. But then also, knowing some of the young ladies that are coming up here for Coach Smith's squad, and then, Lassa May. But I mean, she was a good player, and I know she's going to have a good college career. But I tell you, those Lady Riders, y'all better watch out. They're going to be competing for the top of that district this year.
Yeah,
I can guarantee it.
Tuesdays and Fridays are going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're going to be real fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I get the first taste of it tonight.
Yeah.
You guys are going somewhere else. I get the first taste of it. I get the first taste of girls basketball tonight. The Lady Rough Riders will be in Timpson. They'll take on the Lady Bears, and Coach Malden over there. She's got her Lady Bears ready to rock and roll over there too. They've had a couple of games, so it's going to be on, and I'm looking forward to it.
And we got that. We got the best dressed coach in East Texas, Coach G, and the soccer team
when's
coming
the
up.
soccer going to start up here?
They start practice December 2nd. So that's what, Monday after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, there you go.
Right around the corner.
Yep.
And then looking further ahead, I'm excited the most excited I've been in at least 6 or 7 years about the baseball program. I think we paid some dues last year,
right.
And I think we're going to come back. I mean, I'm just excited because, I mean, baseball district that's a district of doom. It's a tough district to be in.
Very.
But I think that I'm just optimistic and extremely excited about all of these sports because I think we're going to be competing for district championships in all of these sports.
I'm excited to hear Chris on the lady softball call this year.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's right. Wallington was a very experienced lady softball player when he was in high school.
Oh, was he? Okay, I thought, there we go.
That's when he had hair.
Right.
Come on.
That's rough, man. Whoa, man. Wow. Ooh, he had to go there, didn't he? That's rough. All right. But yeah, I'm excited too, and being here in Center, watching the riders and getting to keep up with these guys is really cool, and getting a chance to go do some of these games with them sometimes too, and like what I see and report from people, like I said, I'm all over social media. Part of my business is on social media, so and getting to know a lot more people in the community, and they love the programs, and very rarely do I see anything bad other than you guys on your broadcast the other day. But I'm not going to go there. But anyway. I was just giving you a hard time, man. I've been there. I get excited.
Oh, come on now. Pierce, if you were there, that would have been oh God, we'd have been eliminated. I mean, UIO would have come in and turned us off.
You're probably right. I'm glad that I've finally calmed down after the years, and you guys are working on that too. It's hard, man, because you do get excited. You're in the playoffs, and then you see things. You want your team to win. I know, man. I've been there, and I can understand. But you guys are right, though, man. It's best to just say, hey, man. We knew we were excited. Our emotions got the best of us, and then we were here to play the game. And hey, we'll move on. We apologize and be all good with it. That's all. Yeah. You guys did the right thing there, so that's good.
Oh, I appreciate that, Larry. All right, so Now, so I guess this will be the last time that you're in the hot seat. You're going to be joining back over with us in the commentation
Some
area.
other people in the
We're
hot
going to
seat.
have, because this is going to become the Rick Meeks show with Hiram Harrison, which will start. But before we're about to close the show out, but we want to do one last Wyndham Family Dental something to smile about.
Okay.
Mine is going to be just I think I'm going to hit back on our seniors and the way they have really just continued to build on the foundation of our athletic program. I really think they're leaving here with a story that will be told to all of the groups behind them. Just the way they committed and the success they had over the last 4 years, and just the amount of time that they put in, and they were really, if you see one of them, chances are you see 8 or 9 of them at a time. Like they're a tight group. They spend a lot of time together, and I think that matters into the success as well. So anyway, I'm fired up about what they've been able to accomplish. Still heartbroken for them, but it happens in games that we play, and and so we got to learn from it and move forward. But I've loved being around them all year, and just the amount of time they've put in and success they've had. So definitely smiling for them. And glad I was able to be a part of, kind of a small piece of their career.
There you go. All right.
Well, that's something that Smile brought to you by Wyndham Family Dental. I mean, again, going to the dentist is almost as bad having to go see your lawyer.
I love going to the dentist. Don't bother me.
But I mean, if that's just, I promise you. I mean, I'm a customer and I guess a paid sponsor. But I can just say this: that without a doubt, you go there and you get that stuff done, and it is the as painless as possible and as comfortable as possible to go get that stuff done at Wyndham Family Dental. Clayton Paul will take care of you.
There you go. That's right. And if I could, just one on a little personal note here, but for my something to smile about, you're on social media and you get those little memory things that pop up.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was getting close, but I got this memory thing, and it was 4 years ago to the day yesterday. I moved back to Texas, being gone for like 25 years. And, so happy to have I moved back to Timpson, and I was so happy to have a Whataburger in my town. I was blasting it all over. So, of course, that's what I get. But I just wanted to say, I've been back here for 4 years now. I moved over to Center. Besides a little bit of a craziness there towards the end of that radio station time, I just had a blast. And I get to do what I get to do with some good guys and some friends. And I'm having a good time. And the people of this community are just awesome. And it makes me smile, man, to be a part of it. And I just want to say thanks. I've had a blast time, man. It's just awesome.
Well, all right, folks, that's going to wrap it up again. This will be it for our football season.
Friday night.
All right, so and just so Tuesday night tonight, tonight live here on NetSN, going to have Larry Pierce is going to be in Timpson covering the Lady Riders and the Lady Bears as they get it on in some early season basketball.
Yep.
And then we anticipate, because it's not yet finalized, the ink is not dry on the contract yet, but we anticipate that on Friday night that the Piney Woods group, the consolidated group with all of us going, will be covering the Shelbyville-Beckville game live from Nacogdoches, kickoff 7:30, pregame at 7. Everybody to tune in for Coach Wallace and that bunch. We just know Beckville's an excellent football team. It's going to be an excellent football game. So we look forward to doing that.
And it's on NetSN. It's not on NFHS Network. We're planning on having it free where everybody can watch right here on our platform. So, past where we'll know tomorrow. Right, Shires?
We should know tomorrow.
There we go.
All right. Coach, your show, you get the last word.
Oh, as always, I'm very appreciative of you guys. Thank y'all for doing this. And it really puts our kids out in the forefront of our community, and that's what matters. So I really appreciate y'all's time and the amount of time that y'all put in for not only our kids in Center, which I know is priority for y'all most of the time, but even just the whole community. It's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of schools that do not have this, so very appreciative to have you guys and the amount of time y'all put in during the season.
All right, well, that's it. That's the Coach Meeks show, again, live here. Thank you to Steve Waters, who brings us this, and thank you for Pizzeria for hosting us here and providing us with pizza and all that. Just come on down, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. It'll be the Rick Meeks show live with Hiram Harrison.
Basketball coming up. Yeah.
There you go.
proceeding was a presentation of Watlington, Shires, and Pierce Productions. We hope you have an awesome and blessed night. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.